All right, welcome back to the PHLY Sixers podcast. Kyle Neubeck, Devon Givens here with you. Brianna is here as always, producing all of you on the chat, getting it in there. I saw Jess had a super chat in there. She was talking about Tyrese Maxey, and she said here, Kyle, we all love Tyrese Maxey around here. It's universal. It's not even just here. Thank you, Jess. Of course, we appreciate that. He was speaking about not only just seeing the jerseys here and in his home state of Texas, and specifically Dallas when he goes back to his hometown, but also just going in different arenas. Wasn't his somewhere in that top listing of jersey sales last season? Because that's how popular Tyrese Maxey is.
And so let me circle back to a point that was, or a conversation we had in the Discord yesterday. I was talking with some people about, and by the way, to get access to our wonderful Discord, become a diehard member at allphly.com. So we were having a conversation in the Discord about Iverson's popularity historically and Maxey's popularity right now. And I'm not sure that Tyrese can ever get to the Iverson level, because I think what Iverson has that Maxey never will is the crossover appeal, where even people who are not really interested in basketball look to Allen Iverson for like the style stuff. He was doing commercials with Jadakiss and the Locks, and so he's crossing over into music. And he has said it many times, like he took a beating for being authentic to himself and where he came from and the people around him. And that was tough for him at the time, but it created such a large circle of people who love him that it goes so far beyond Philadelphia. And so I'm skeptical that Tyrese gets there. But on the other side of that, Tyrese is such a positive kid, is such a hard worker, has such a, frankly, fun game to watch, right? Like the step back threes, the speed and transition. He's adding new things every year. On top of that, like Iverson was a bit prickly at times, right? Like he had I don't want to call them negative press conferences, but he had some things that rubbed people the wrong way. Certainly the practice thing was taken different ways by different audiences. Tyrese doesn't have any of that stuff. Like he's just all, for lack of a better word, wholesome, right? Like again, the family angle. I think another thing that I've noticed a lot more over the last year, he's so polite in a way that I thought was kind of a put on at first, that you just realize like, no, this is just how he was raised and who he is. He always refers to them as Coach Rico, Coach Nick, Coach whoever. It's never like, oh, I was talking to Nick, I was talking to this guy. He even though he's now $200 million man, made an all-star team and has a level of cachet in the organization, he still treats those people as authority figures. He refers to Kate Scott, Sixers broadcaster, as Miss Kate or Lauren Rosen at Sixers.com, Miss Lauren. He's very respectful and polite to just about everybody that he comes into contact with. And so on top of being a great player, that has allowed him to just be this beloved figure. And so we'll see what the next 5, 10, whatever years look like for him here, or hopefully not elsewhere, but potentially elsewhere, depending on how the future goes. It's just like he could get to that level of just absolutely beloved here. But I think fans who watch the Sixers and don't like Joel, for example, which we're going to get to those people at some point, love Maxey for the game and the personality. So he has cast a pretty wide net, and he deserves it, man. Like I said to his dad, I talked to his dad for a little bit yesterday, and I did the whole, like obviously we have to be impartial. I don't root for these guys, so to speak, but I'm happy for your son, because I just like, in this business, you and I know Derek can speak for all of us, you want to see good people, hard workers, the right things get rewarded, right? You want to see those guys that have reputation for being in the gym, for being just kind to people, for understanding the privilege that they have to play in the NBA and make this money. And he embodies that as a person and as a player. And so it's great being able to have those conversations with people like his dad, to be like, excuse me, you guys really nailed it. Like, you and Denise did an amazing job instilling the right things in this kid. So it's no surprise to me that he is as loved as he is in Philadelphia and beyond.
Yeah, and I don't think we can say too much about it to really explain what it is like to be around that guy. You all see it, so you get to experience it also in a different way. But for him, I mean, it just seems like it's really, really genuine. And to be out there and do the stuff that he did, like the Iverson piece, that's really, really hard to reach. That's difficult. But when they did the Maxey Museum, of course, thanking him for what he did for them, from not taking the extension last summer, doing so this summer so they can go out there and acquire Paul George and some of the other moves that they made. He even brought it up yesterday about how the team is so built to what Kyle was pointing out earlier, where Kelly Oubre showed his defensive chops last season. Caleb Martin comes in as that glue guy that is mostly known for his defense and all that switchability. They're going to be hunting him down in that starting lineup as the weak link. So pride-wise, yeah, you want to make sure that you are the one that is not that weak link in there, and he's going to do everything that he can to get better at that role. But when by the time his career is over, if he does finish up or spend 10 years here in the Sixers uniform, you better believe that they're going to be talking about him in conversations. May not be, of course, top 10 overall, because there's so many Sixers players that he's going to have to surpass to get into that conversation. But it's going to be hard to leave him off of some of the discussions where people really favor him over others because of the on-the-court stuff, and then you cannot ignore the off-the-court things that goes with it as well. And if they win a championship, hell, we were discussing the new arena possibilities, whether it was Camden or Center City or Delaware Avenue, wherever it might be, Penn's Landing. Everything discussed about it is, guess whose face is going to be on the face of that building when things come around? Joel's going to be pretty much gone. It's going to be Tyrese Maxey. And that's how big he is. That's how important he is for this franchise going forward. I mean, my mom likes basketball, but she's like, no, I love that guy. You know, so many women that you just know, and they're saying, no, I love that guy. You know, I have one friend who's like, that's my son, you know, because they just love the kid, and that's who he is. And that guy is something else, and he is pretty special.
We all silly like the mayor.